Using the Nokia 5.4 for a couple of days have actually been interesting to say the least. There have been very little to complain about. But I have one question for Nokia. Why is this still on Android 10? What is up guys, Izzy here and welcome to the channel. So this is the Nokia 5.4. Now let's get straight to business. Now I didn't get to use the Nokia 5.3 but now I have this and it's looking like, aside slight design changes and some improved specifications to its cameras, there doesn't seem like enough change coming from Nokia 5.3 to 5.4. Just a slightly optimized processor from the Snapdragon 665 to 662, improved main camera and selfie camera, that is 48 megapixel and 16 megapixels respectively. The storage options are a bit complicated. You get 4 to 6 gigs of RAM and 64 to 128 gigs in storage. But if you want the 128 gig storage option, you have to settle for 4 gigs of RAM, which is what I have here. 4 gig and 128 gigs in storage. There is no 6 gigs 128 gig storage configuration. And this is retailing for around $250 on Amazon and 82,000 Naira in Nigeria. My affiliate links will be down in the description in case you want to support the channel. That is the basic specifications for the most part. In a time where a lot of smartphone manufacturers are adopting to remove charger and earphones from the box of their smartphones in a bid to, according to them, become more environmentally friendly, what do you get in the box of the Nokia 5.4? Thankfully, all accessories are actually present, including a protective casing and a pre-installed screen protector, which you may or may not find useful. The charging brick is 10 watts and surprisingly it charges the Nokia 5.4 from 0 to 100 in about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Very much unlike the Nokia 3.4, which takes up to 4 hours. The Nokia 5.4 follows a similar design pattern as the Nokia 8.3. This is the polar night color option. You also get it in dusk. You have this dual tone design with slanted stripes underneath. It is actually a plastic back with a really glossy and shiny finish. It is a fingerprint magnet. The fingerprint scanner is mounted just underneath the camera bump, easily reachable and very responsive. All buttons and ports are in their expected positions as common with all Nokia devices, with the headphone jack at the top and the mono speaker and USB-C port at the bottom. We still have that annoying Google Assistant button which cannot be remapped, but thankfully it can be disabled. The Nokia 5.4 maintains a 720p display which is nice and decent for use outdoors. At this price point 1080p really would have been better, but this is just enough. You can stream YouTube content up to 1080p and the left hole punch mounted selfie camera does not get in the way. You have slim bezels around the display, and as usual and typical with all Nokia devices, you have the Nokia branding on the bottom bezel, or should I say chin. Anyway, the display is 6.39 inches, that's about the same size we had with the Nokia 3.4. My experience with the Nokia 5.4 so far has actually been nice, quite snappy and very responsive. Apps are going to run fine and you can multitask with no hiccups. It has handled every app I've thrown at it so far. It is of course an Android 1 device and runs Google's stock version of Android, supposedly Android 11 ready but still stuck on Android 10 and January security patch update. That is not encouraging, especially when Nokia prides itself in its ability to release swift software updates. Well, it is going to come eventually, and when it does come I'm going to do a second review. Still talking about the software, some users have complained about this device automatically resetting. That is a factory reset on more than one occasion. I've not experienced this so far, but I'll definitely be on the lookout and update in my social media and probably my next review. At this point, a sub to the channel or a thumbs up or both will be very helpful. The Nokia 5.4 sports the Snapdragon 662 processor, which provides good performance and good benchmark scores for its price. On the GPU it has the Adreno 610 and can provide decent gaming performance on high graphics games like PUBG and Call of Duty Mobile. With PUBG you only get default balanced graphics and medium frame rates. To get high frame rates you are going to have to go down to smooth graphics settings. You can't go any higher. Gameplay is however lag free. With Call of Duty Mobile you have a default high and medium frame rates, but you can go up to very high for both graphics and frame rates. I left it at the default. Gameplay here is also lag free. All the times I've gamed on Nokia 5.4 so far have been lag free. I've not experienced any issues, although on a few occasions I've experienced heating, but it was nothing abnormal. The battery life on Nokia 5.4 is actually impressive for a 4000 mAh battery. On a full charge with proper use, about 2 hours gaming included, and on LTE network, I managed about 6 hours and 20 minutes of screen time and still had 14% battery left. This can easily take you through an entire day without you needing to find your charger. The Nokia 5.4's cameras have seen a slight upgrade over its predecessor, sporting a 48 megapixel main camera. The ultra-wide camera remains unchanged at 5 megapixels. The macro and depth sensors are 2 megapixels each. The selfie camera has been upgraded to 16 megapixels. You will get decent pictures out of the Nokia 5.4's cameras with fairly good dynamic range. Colors look natural and not washed out. Taking photos indoors under the right lighting conditions will give you good results. You should have zero expectations of that macro camera though, it's just 2 megapixels. The selfie camera captures good photos with fine detail both on normal and portrait mode. Sometimes edge detection is not perfect, but it does get the job done most of the time. And speaking of camera modes, you get a dedicated night mode which I'll say is not quite there yet. Not very impressive in my opinion. What do you think? The Nokia 5.4 gets cinema mode which provides you with pro features for more controlled results when shooting videos. It is able to shoot 1080p videos up to 60 frames per second on both the selfie and the rear cameras. Hello guys, so I am testing the selfie camera of the Nokia 5.4. It has a 16 megapixel selfie camera and it is able to shoot videos up to 1080p Full HD, 30 frames per second. What do you think about the camera quality? If you ask me what I like about the Nokia 5.4, in summary I'd say first is the design. Though it has this glossy finish and very shiny, it is a fingerprint magnet. You're going to find yourself wiping it a lot of the time, except you have the casing on top, of course. I like this design, however. Then I like the software being stock Android, even though Nokia is taking forever to push that Android 11 update. It also has good camera performance and it easily stands with or is arguably better than the competition at this price point. And I'm also very curious to see what Android 11 brings to the Nokia 5.4. How does it affect its overall performance? That is, if Nokia ever releases that update. What do you think about the 5.4? Do you own one? Are you intend to buy one? Or do you have any questions? Do leave a comment and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so it can get recommended to more audience. I am going to see you in another video. Peace.